Have we got time to go to the little chamber entrance down there first?
Down there. We filmed a bit there.
You filmed it already?
Yeah.
Alright, so would you want to go down there for 5 minutes first?
Okay, this is where they're building into the hillside underneath James Casbolt's house. Is just above here, and he's described there being tunnels and caves underneath here. The blood in this car park.
Are these imaginations of a paranoid schizophrenic or somebody who's actually into something? This is a symptom of Jean's paranoia, and she was proved right.
Exactly.
Targeted individuals started talking.
If you're not paranoid, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Well, certainly. And just to be clear, the houses above is where James was filming. We were filming with James yesterday. James? Michael?
Yep. This is St Ives.
Yeah.
We're off to the drop site Delta.
And that refers to the TR3Bs?
Yeah, that's where they come in. Yeah, Delta.
Okay, let's go.
It's just up here. Okay, and this is good old Porthmere Beach here. This is where it is. It's just to the left of the beach, over near the cliffs.
Good.
It's it goes out for it. There's like shallow water that goes out for a mile, right, and then it drops down into deep ocean.
Yeah.
And then that's where the undersea base is.
Right.
They actually, the mainstream media reported they released some pictures of some of the hardware they were building on the ocean bed.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they called it I think they called it the Hail Wave Hub project. So they said it was like a free energy thing that they built on the seabed. So if we get round a little bit, I'll explain it to you when we can see it.
Good.
So should we keep walking?
Yeah.
So this the sea it's shallow for about a mile, and then after a mile it drops off into deep ocean, and that's where the underwater base is, where it drops off into deep.
What's the exact name of this bay again?
This is Porthmere Beach, and this section's called Clodgy, and that's the drop zone delta just there.
And that's dropped by the TR3?
Yeah, they come in, they also they're kind of black triangle, but they go underwater, and they come in. There's a secluded bit behind the rocks there, and they come in the watercraft, and metal cables come off the craft and connect to the rocks, and then soldiers levitate up the cables to come into the area here when they come in by sea.
And why this particular area? Because why the base? Is there a reason or just?
The mainstream media actually released some diagrams and some pictures of the hardware they were building on the seabed over there, and like I say, past the shelf that goes out a mile. But they called it the Cornwall or Hale Wave Hub project, which was, they were saying it was a free energy thing, and that's where they were building the hardware on the seabed.
So that was a cover for them to establish stuff that's going on?
The undersea base is old, but they've done
When you say old, how old? 50 years, 5 years?
Probably 100 years. But they've worked on it. You have a lot of naval ships like that one over there. So they go out there. So they're over near the base there. It's not all the time, but they regularly come in over there, and then they're working with the facility there. But they come in and they dock here in the beach.
Now we're looking essentially north west across the Irish Sea, is that right?
I think so.
Whereas that landmass immediately off that would probably be Wales.
Over there,
Yeah.
that is Cornwall. That's Hale Beach over there.
Oh, so we're looking really northeast with the sun, the way the sun's setting. Yeah, the sun's setting in the west, obviously.
The thing with the base there is there's a sea gate out there. That's why they built it, and it's
sea gate?
a sea gate, and that's going to take you to straight directly into certain lakes in the planet, like lakes in Peru, and also in Malaysia, in the island of Penang.
So it's like a portal.
Yeah, under the sea. So yeah, a mile out, bang, you go through, and that's going to take you straight to those places.
Is that technology from the ancients, or is it modern?
I think so. I think it's ancient technology they've worked on. But it's also going to take you off planet to places on Saturn too.
You're referring to Saturn's moons or Saturn itself?
Saturn itself.
What's the speciality? Why Saturn, or is it just that's because the gates connect? Is there any control of those gates? You can select. Can you select your destination?
I think so. Yeah. You can go to like I say, the lakes in Peru, Lake Titicaca, the island of Penang, and Saturn too. It's definitely those three places. I witnessed a lot of activity over here over the years, and there's been eyewitnesses for it. Like at night, really, is where it all happens. Yeah. I've seen that.
Any particular days?
The weekends seem to be a lot of activity for some reason. Sundays, and I've got like a big hole there in the ground. That was supposed to be blown out. Some ship, something happened and created the hole. And I've been walking over here, and I've seen light just come out from that hole over there and just light up the whole area. And it was almost like somebody opened up a hatch or a door over there from underground, and the whole place just lit up at night.
What colour of light?
Just white light. But there was an eyewitness with me, a girl, but she won't speak. She definitely won't speak about that. If you look at it, there's like a big hole's been blown in the ground, and there's a big mine shaft right in the middle that's fenced off that goes underground. So this is the actual drop site itself, just here. And this is called Man's Head, because that looks like a man's head, that rock. So helicopters come down here at night, TR3s come down here. And
some people would say that rocks like that are guardians in the stone.
yeah, I think there's something to that. And then the watercraft, they come in around the back and dock in. I'll show you the little place where they dock in. It's just, but we have to walk around the back of the rocks. Yeah.
And we're going to do that as well as we can, Cathi, as the sun sets.
It's easy to walk there.
You can say something if you want.
Would you let me hold your camera for you? You climb those rocks.
So this is where the fleets come in, and by fleets I mean the space fleets. And at one point we were having activity here every single weekend on Sundays, and Jan Rodrigo was an eyewitness. I was actually calling the ships in telepathically, and they were flying over, and then they were shooting up into the outer atmosphere from here, straight up, and they'd hit space in about 3 seconds. So they just go up and then they go boom, straight up into space.
What type of ships? TR3s?
No, these were bigger. These were a lot bigger. Yeah.
Human.
It's there's a transhuman army of around 200,000 soldiers up there.
And exactly where is up there? Is it suborbital, orbital?
Suborbital. You know, they're docked on the platforms up there. Yeah, and there's about 200,000 transhuman soldiers now.
Is that a joint, would you say, joint between various countries?
Yeah, but they're not, they're kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Aligned to,
Off planet. They're more than aligned to one country.
they're aligned to the planet.
Yeah, but they got bases on Saturn and all sorts. So they're not American, they're not Russian, they're bigger than that. Yeah. Yeah, and they're actually my sons. As bizarre as that sounds. Actually, they're created from my flesh up there.
What would you call it?
A fleet.
Fleet of guys up there.
Yeah.
They're not aligned to any particular country on Earth. They are basically an Earth force for Earth, aligned with Earth against ET.
Yeah, I mean they're all rattling at the cages now because of what's happened, and they're just, you know, they're calling for blood. They wanted to rain down nuclear fire on America.
Right.
And I keep having to get them to stand down, but I can't do it indefinitely.
Right. Because you're hoping it can get sorted out without coming to that, basically.
But I don't think it can.
So these treaties that have been happening, do you think that they're all defunct now? They're not being adhered to?
Yeah, there was like when I did the interview with Miles in San Francisco and the dinosaur beings came through the gate in the front room, they were saying, don't forget about the treaty, we made a deal. But because of everything that happened, they've all fallen apart now.
Sure.
So yeah, they're all rattling at the cages, and I can't get them to stand down forever, like I say.
Do you know which races those treaties were made with?
The reptilians, like there's like a pterodactyl being.
Like the kind of raptor type.
Yeah, like a
thing.
raptor with a big head, with a big grin on its face. Yeah, but
Lots
yeah,
of
they've
teeth.
all fallen apart. But they never stick to them anyway.
Right.
They only last like 6 months and then
And so do you know what the Tau treaty is? Do you know anything about the Tau 9 treaty? Do you know anything?
I'm not too familiar with it.
Or the Griada?
Yeah, I think that was the one on one of the naval ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had the treaties on the naval ships out
Yeah.
to sea,
I
the
think
meetings.
It was the USS Houston, I think.
Yeah.
And who funded the Colopia?
The Colopia is an old ship. It's like 1,000 years old.
Oh,
Or
right.
older, actually.
So is it bioengineered as well then?
Barack Obama had a Air Force Space Command, US Air Force Space Command logo put on the side of the ship in the last 10 years, but it wasn't ever an American government. It was like they were sponsoring it.
Right.
It could just wear their symbol.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. And it had that symbol on it until it was destroyed. Yeah.
And is this stuff, is the UN involved in coordinating any of this space fleet stuff, the UN?
Yeah, the UN were involved in it. But yeah, it's been very active over the last 10 years, that particular craft. Because it's a long range orbital platform, it travels off planet.
And would have the Minerva, you know, Mark Richards' ship, would that have been a similar type of ship?
To be honest, I'm not sure about the whole Mark Richards
You don't
thing,
know? Okay.
because of everything that's happened. You know, there's been so much deception in it all.
Sure. Yeah, Julian's trying to get to the bottom of it and research it, and that's why he's asked me to ask you, because
Yeah.
you'd probably know
Yeah.
some stuff.
I'd say there's more truth in his old man, the Dutch man.
Yeah, well, that prison where he's in, Vacaville prison, they did MK Ultra stuff there.
Right.
A lot of MK Ultra stuff, so maybe half of it's been implanted as memories into him. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, him and his wife only turned up onto the movement when I went public. They turned up at exactly the same time. Nobody had heard of them before
Right.
And then Joanne was involved in all this. She lived right next to us, and she's on the dreaded list.
Oh yeah, Marin County.
And Mark's definitely used some of my testimony and what's been given to him for classified information from the government and put it out as his own.
Yeah, well I know I think Julian told me something he'd told him, that it'd come from you.
Well, what was interesting is when the Colopia went down over Syria, all of a sudden information came out onto the internet that Mark's ship Minerva had gone down and been destroyed.
Oh really?
Exactly the same time.
Well, Julian's seen a lot of parallels between you and Mark, so there's something going on.
So they were reporting the Colopia, and they were reporting my story as his story, as his ship.
Right, so that needs
Because it came out at exactly the same time, yeah. And former White Hat posted it on his blog, RIP Minerva. And I didn't even tell anyone that the Colopia had gone down. I didn't tell anybody.
So it could even have been the same ship?
Yeah, I think they were saying it was Mark's ship, the Minerva, when there might not be any such thing. They're just reporting on the Colopia. Yeah.
So I'll have to look into that a bit more then.
But I'll take you round to where the little dock port is.
Yeah, before we lose the light.
Before we lose the light, yeah, okay.
Do you want this back, Miles?
Yeah.
The coldest it's been down there.
Okay, James, St Michael,
Hello?
we are at.
We are Delta drop site. This is where the watercraft come into this groove here. They come in here and they have metal cables that come off the craft and then they connect to the rocks just there. They have like 3 or 4 cables that come up. So I've been up there at night and I've seen soldiers levitating up the cables with backpacks on. But they're coming up the cables, they don't come up straight, vertical, they come up sideways like this, horizontally. Like in this motion. And I've been up there, I've seen that. And most of the craft just is underwater. The top bit sticks out. Looks like a set of traffic lights on top of it when they dock there. But I've been inside them. They're nice inside. They're comfortable. They're like private jets inside. Yeah.
Is that because of turbulence, or buffeting, or just because they're nice to be inside?
They're just comfortable. They're like expensive looking inside. Yeah, exactly like private jets with little windows. Yeah, and then they go straight out. Like I say, the shelf drops off after a mile, it goes shallow for a mile, and boom, drops into deep ocean.
I mean, we can't really see it on camera, but the ocean here is very green, which means there's usually fairly shallow sand below.
Yeah. Yep, shallow for a mile. Yep. Well, like I said,
why do you think they come to this location?
Because it's close to the houses, but it's out the way too. Because people have their implants activated in town, in the houses here, and they come out at night. They might just get up at 2 in the morning, get dressed and walk out here.
That's actually interesting, because we've detected something very similar happening in the Cumbrian area, Lake District area, where people seem to be under some kind of control.
Yeah, they come out tranced up and then they go back. They don't remember a lot of the time. So they want somewhere.
What happens to them?
They get taken in the TR3s and to the in the underwater craft. Over, I think it's Portreath Beach nearby. People have seen TR3s. There's been eyewitnesses flying over, and then the nose angles down. They fly into the sea over there. And you got RAF Portreath, the base. The army base there, which is connected. But they want somewhere that's not too, they don't want you going out too far, walking out at 2 in the morning and you fall off the cliff. They just want something, they don't get you to come out here because you might fall off the cliff again. So they just get you to go in the safe area up there, and then they connect the cables up, and then the soldiers come up and grab you and take you back down the cables. So yeah.
So it's just opportunistic that because St Ives is near the base, they'll use the people there.
It's very opportunistic.
But they could manipulate people to don't live down here, I suppose.
Yeah.
Alien look like type of manipulation.
Okay,
It's also when you get injured though on missions, they take you out
Oh yeah?
from here. So you get injured all the time, and then they put you back together.
Using advanced technology.
Yeah, they take you off, and then they can put you back together in 24 hours. Sometimes it takes about 3 days.
And they use the population at St Ives opportunistically because happens to be near the ancient base. There was the old base anyway,
Yeah.
presumably.
Yeah, and like I say, they get people to come out here at night, activate the implants, then they get dressed 2 in the morning, walk out, but they come to the safe bit, like we were saying, and they take you down the cables. They don't want you somewhere they don't want you over Clodgy, so that's like too far out, so they want you close to the houses, but obviously this covers it, it's perfect cover.
It is perfect.
Yeah, and that is perfect there, the little groove there, because they just come in and hide in there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
do they come on certain times or dates because of the moon?
Yeah, they use it's all very
tidal things or what?
it's all very occultic. They use the
Well, during that conversation, the batteries went down on the UHF mics. This is the 3rd time brand new batteries have failed after only about 10 minutes. But anyway, we're getting used to that. Normally they last hour plus 2 hours. It's a receiver that's going down, different camera this time. So there it is in Cornwall.
Is that the lady you talked about at the conference?
2 ladies involved with my family. One's Lady Moran, who was married to Churchill's doctor. She worked at Parton Down. And that was a long time ago. That was before the First World War. The other one was Lady Morrison, who was more later, like the 50s, 60s. And her best friend, it's like my mum's auntie, she used to come and visit us in Bath and make us take elocution lessons and wear white gloves and all this grooming.
Yeah, being groomed.
Yeah, ladies,
What were you being groomed for?
Whatever it was. My mum and dad still looked shocked when they saved that we moved back to Rochdale and we worked and we got in at the convent and all this. They fucked them off for some reason. They just used them. They told them lies. I think they told them that me and Liz were going to be dead successful and get a place in society and all this. But in the end, they just sent us back up north. My dad is a really, really nice person, and we made him into 2 people and worked into a really horrible person.
Right.
Who I thought was really my dad, but no, I sussed it out. That's what they did.
Fraction him.
There's 2, a Jekyll and Hyde, and he's such a nice guy. He really is a genuinely nice guy. But then he's got this other half to him that practices sexual abuse on one of his children.
Right.
Was so out of character as who he was.
Yeah. So who was the Jesuit woman you were talking about? Leloita or something?
Oh, that was the headmistress of the school I was at. Ignatius Loyola. She
Okay.
was called Madame Ignatius.
Madam Ignatius.
And that was the name of the Jesuit founder,
Yeah.
Ignatius Loyola.
Right. So was that a woman?
She
The
was.
founder?
No.
As a man?
She was just a nun, what called herself after him. So that tells me really that they were Jesuit
Yeah.
nuns
Of course, yeah.
or Carmelites.
Yeah. So how do you pronounce the name again?
I think it's Loyola, Ignatius Loyola.
Ignatius Loyola.
Oh, she hit me. Stick.
Bet she did. Put over your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, steep this hill. So maybe you've done some missions like that and can't remember it.
Well, I worked in the Athenian Club when I was having lunch there
Oh, okay.
in Pall Mall.
Yeah, yeah.
So, quite easily, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, what we've got, we've just been outside and we've gone to secret facility, craft landing. What was all that about? taking people from the town. What exactly was going on there?
They just need a secluded spot, really, to take people. And then the rocks are the cover, as we filmed. Because like I say, they're taking people out, like 2 a.m. They're not taking people, people are being activated by the implants. And then they're getting dressed and going out there.
So what's really the beef? And you live down here now. You come from here.
Yeah. Well,
Can you
there's there's definitely a lot of screen memories being put in for people. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I think they create films of the person's life, and then they sit them in a chair and they get people to watch videos of their own life. Yeah, I think it's quite simple, really. They get you to sit in a trip seat, and then you're drugged with scopolamine and different things like that, and then you watch parts of your own life back. But they might have been recorded a week before. So, and then they put you back in the house, and that's a screen memory.
I mean, when we were out there, it seemed clear that with all that activity happening and ropes and soldiers on rocks and stuff like that,
yeah,
there must be a heck of a noise going on. I mean, why are there no witnesses? Why are there no stories about this?
There's been a lot of witnesses to things out there over at the drop site over the years. I mean, there's one girl who saw the whole area light up when we were there at night. And they've got but this hardware is it's silent. When the soldiers were coming up sideways up the cables, they have backpacks on, but they don't make any noise when they're coming up. And even the watercraft come in, they're silent. So.
And how many people are taken at any time?
It used to be, probably over 50 people a week would take them. But I'm not sure now, because I've been out of the area for so many years. I'm only just connecting to what's going on here again.
Is it still going on?
Not so much now. The area now is like a military fort. It's like a big, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a big security zone. The way they set everything up now, it's changed from when I was here years ago. It's like a safe area. Yeah, you got the sea base, you got the open stage chamber just outside. You've got all the underground caverns below us. RAF Portreath.
We have to say that almost 15 years ago I came here to film Lisa, who appeared in Bases 1 with Barry King, and she mentioned an awful lot of stuff going on down here, what she was feeling, and we're going to meet her just shortly in a few minutes. So she doesn't want to be filmed. She was the voice of, she was only appeared on part 4 of Bases 9, which is the last major thing we did with James here, with you here, Michael.
Well, Crowley was down here. Crowley lived down here in Penzance, and he lived in Zena. We've actually got a son, I forget his name, something Crowley, who lives in Penzance. And he's quite an eccentric character. He wears like a big black rain jacket, and he has like an entourage of groupies that follow him around. And yeah, Alice Crowley was in Penzance, and he had like a moo pack, like a group of women down here, who I think he had a couple of children with this group of women down here. Yeah, we definitely know about one, son of Crowley.
And
That's
of course, one
He's
geologist who died was actually, he was looking into Crowley, Ron Adams.
Right.
He actually lived in Crowley Cottage.
Yeah.
And one of the things that his family was dealing with in the Bent Borders Woodbridge complex, they had a terror of spiders.
Which connects to it.
So I have to say with that. Now you were saying about the jumping or portal into Saturn.
Yeah.
What's the relevance of Saturn in this? Is there any particular thing? I think earlier you were talking about the diamond spiders of Mars.
Yes.
Sorry to keep going on about these spiders, but is there some kind of mining or some kind of intelligence? What's the significance of Saturn? Was originally meant to be in 2001 A Space Odyssey, but they couldn't get the rings to work right in special effects, so they used Jupiter.
Right. Well, so people were asking me on Facebook because I put when I was ordained as a priest, I put the paperwork up on the page, and I was obviously talking about Opus Dei in the Catholic Church. So people said, because you're talking about these subjects, are you reformed from Satanism? Because I was involved in that in San Francisco and before, and Saturn is Satan. Saturn and Satan, it's the same thing. Basically, like through the assassinations through the years, it was we were connecting to Saturn, just the energy of Saturn, and it's actually there's a whole science of assassination based on the archetype of Saturn. So this is where it connects to Satanism. And
why kill somebody connecting with Saturn? What's the significance? What's the connection?
Well, in occultism, you have the what's that? What are those things that they're like engravings that you carry around with you, and they talismans. Yeah, they have the Saturn talismans with symbols of Saturn on them, and they're supposed to protect you from assassination. So it connects again to the engravings on my skin, and possibly I've got an engraving every time I did an assassination, and my bones are also have these engravings on them. I don't know how they've done that, but they actually light up these symbols, and that could have affected the camera when it went down, because we were talking about the symbols, and then the cameras went down. The camera.
We don't know when they might die, but it was very at the very end, hopefully.
Around when we were talking about the symbols.
We'll see how the audio turns out.
So Saturn is a safety zone. You can, if you're based on Saturn, you can attack and not be attacked. You can give out warfare and not receive it. So this is why the whole science of murder and assassination is based around the archetype of Saturn, which is Satanism. And so it's not all Satanists are child killers and are going out their way to collect children and murder them. So it's very occultic what goes on some of the moons on Saturn. It's very bizarre. They have areas where they have big trees and people are crucified in the trees, and like women are crucified in the trees, and the tree has metal cables in it. It's like a living alloy tree, and that sounds very bizarre, and it's used as a weapon with these women crucified in the tree, and then that's directed through satellite on some of the areas onto Earth.
What's the significance of this crucifixion thing?
They're trying to re-crucify Christ-like figures again. People who think are historic figures from thousands of years ago walking the earth now. But they do a Bohemian Grove. They crucify you upside down. It's a reversal. It's satanic.
Yeah, he's wondering if all wars are actually a cover for ET and human conflict.
Yes.
Would you say so?
Yeah, all wars. Yeah.
And in terms of weaponry, would you say the atom bomb was developed in an attempt to fight ET?
Yeah.
Enemies?
Yeah. Because there's a lot of suicide conflict going on in this. The Greys will come down in their light craft and suicide themselves. They got no problem. The Greys have a lot of suicide soldiers, and oftentimes the human governments will nuke an area or blow an area up to stop an alien invasion. So it's not all evil. What they're trying to do, the terror of alien ship landing in the human community and aliens coming in and kicking down doors is too much. So they'll often nuke the population so they don't have to go through that. Kind of doing them a favour. This is just a quick death.
And to contain the situation.
And to contain it, yeah.
And so if we have populations under experimentation with chips who are being activated in the evenings and so on, it's a kind of dark city scenario in a sense, which is a movie where people's lives, and even buildings were moved around in the night, and then people got up and carried on with the agenda that had been programmed into them. And in a sense, it's a very much a kind of a social manipulation of scenarios, presumably.
Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't talk about this. They have in the undersea base areas undersea domes, which are actually simulated areas where they've copied parts of the town in the domes. They've copied the streets and the buildings. They've just built them like a movie set, and on the dome, on the roof of the dome, a holographic display. It looks like the night sky, and then there are weather machines in there.
So in a sense, that's almost like the village in The Prisoner, where people are contained and experimented on very precisely. But they think that, well, they would think they were actually in St Ives.
They've got undersea domes, as bizarre as it sounds, and they've got half-a-mile stretches of the town as movie sets there. So people can be kept there for a long time. And with cloning too, you can just, it's carte blanche really. They can do what they want, keep people out there as long as they want really. And then they've got people's houses built, or certain rooms of the houses.
Right.
So the people are in the rooms and they're in the base. It's clever.
Yeah.
Is this where the details, sometimes when they put you back, they get the details can be wrong?
Yeah.
Subtle details, but important ones. Different colours, wrong way around or whatever. Continuity errors.
They were doing it in our Texas apartment with Haley and the baby. They were creating rooms in there, and underground at Dulcie and things like that. There's like pictures of Haley sitting on the bed, and there's a big 8-foot tall reptilian in the wall, and they're looking through some observation window into the room. And then even the baby's birth might have happened underground, because on his birth certificate, we talked about this before, remember? It says he was born on a military testing hospital in Fort Samuel's base.
Potentially Dulcie. Anyway, that's it from us in St Ives as the batteries run out. It's wonderful the way batteries are running out, even though we're running with kit on the road here, so to speak. Only so much we can pack in. Thank you very much, Michael. Good to see you're fit to walk up and down stairs, steps and all things.
Hills.
Even I can do it without falling into the sea. Thank you very much, Cathi, for coming this distance and asking those questions.
And thank you, Miles, for bringing us.
Well, thank you. And we're now going to meet a couple of people from bases 1 and 2, and one who's previously came the whole way from Cornwall to my place in London, Jan, and he'll be in the following parts of this basis 24. Yeah. Thank you and good night. Wave goodbye. Yeah, Cathi, wave goodbye. It's a continuous. Say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people.
Right, that's it from you, and that's from him, and that's from her. Welcome, Cathi. Okay, this has been your main trip down to St Ives to meet James Casbolt or Michael Prince. But you also met a person who was in the very first two bases interview series, and she's done a huge amount of research, and he had a very long chat with her, and without giving away any confidential information that she doesn't want you to talk about, give us your impressions of Lisa, who we know on the basis series, her name is Lisa, and who also commented on James Casbolt's previous main interview in this country, which was basis 9. She was extensively off camera in part 4. So what's your conclusions?
Okay. Yes, I had seen Lisa's interviews on your early basis tapes, and so was looking forward very much to meeting her, because she's done extensive research into mind control in the UK, which is the subject I'm interested in, and she's also done done it in a sense, in a similar way, that she's looked at her own background very intensively and come up with some really crucial, interesting information as to the Nazis and her family. So
she has a very close link that way.
Yes, she does.
Which she did mention in Basis 9. So that's not something.
So this is the area of research, and I was fascinated to meet her and get her updates. But she's got a writing contracts with a publisher, and she's going to be publishing some of her material. I can't wait to read it, actually. And so she doesn't want to give away too much yet, because it being so sensitive, it's something that she...
I think it's safe to say that the material we're talking about is absolutely incredible and really serious, with a connection with World War II, some kind of soul splicing technology. That's the ability so that other beings can hide within existing human being bodies and maybe get through into...
Yes, that does seem to be the case from what she's discovered, and it does seem to imply that that theory or something along those lines is occurring, that souls are incarnating.
So there's some reason why they must hide in a human body so they don't get noticed as something which they really are. Perhaps a Nephilim?
It could well be. It's a crucial piece of research that she's done, and it was an absolute pleasure to meet her. She's looking great. She's in great form. She's been doing some wonderful work locally, fighting the child protection agencies, and she has made major changes in this area of Cornwall through her work in politics. She became a councillor in order to do this, and now she is no longer a councillor. So she was limited in what she could speak out about at that time, but she's now stopped doing that because her specific reason for becoming a councillor was to deal with these issues. She's an extraordinary person, extraordinary strong person. She's studied law to enable her to address these atrocities that are being perpetrated by social services and the system.
And they make no mistake about it, they are utter atrocities being committed by the secret courts in this country.
Absolutely, and she's addressed that, and she's gone out and done something, and she's put her immense talents and her immense intelligence to very good work in the service of the people of Cornwall and of the people everywhere, because her research is very important.
And what about Michael?
Oh, it was interesting to meet Michael. I've never met him before. I think he behaved as a perfect gentleman. He was friendly and articulate, so that went very well.
And he was talking about really last night in the darkness, as darkness fell, in this military area where there are naval vessels off the coast and helicopters flying overhead in this area.
Right on cue.
Right on cue. But we'll see. But we'll continue because the weather in Cornwall...
I did enjoy... in his early basis interviews, he'd talked about going out onto the head at the beach at Cornwall and being picked up by a TR3. TR3B. And of course this evokes kind of, you visualise what it might have been like, but we were able to go with him to that place, which is
in the kind of darkness as the light fell, and I was basically within about half a centimetre of falling into the sea as I...
You were. I didn't go that close to the edge.
But and our batteries ran out on the microphone, which has happened with John Irwin.
They drained, didn't they?
They drained on the receiver. But the main thing is that this seems to be the village here. They seem to be using it as a pickup zone to take people out who simply arrive, and it's all done quickly, quietly, possibly under some kind of cloak of invisibility so nobody notices or sees it. But this is similar to what I've got from a researcher in the Lake District whose house was raided. All her research was taken, and the involvement of these giant spiders is being evoked. And I was interviewing a witness, talking to a witness at the probe conference, who expressed this terror of huge spiders. And one of the key researchers, which Lisa was involved with at the very, very start was Ron Adams, whose family was at Rendlesham Forest, at Bentwaters base, and they all were being abducted in my lab, and they had a terror of spiders. And I'm using this, I'm mentioning this because of my involvement at the pirate radio thing with these giant scuttler, these giant spiders, and then again at Sky Television with the spiders. But that's me, you're on camera. Any final words?
I think it's been a very worthwhile trip to come and do these interviews. I think hopefully people can move forward. Now there's been a lot of controversy around Michael's situation.
Well, the list,
Michael Prince's situation.
the publishing of a list.
At least I hope we've clarified what is going on there anyway.
Yeah.
And got some
And
truth out.
I'm on that list, but I'm not on that category, which refers to what does it refer to?
I haven't seen the list. I believe there's a section that refers to drones, and some of the people on there may be in the alternative truth movement, so it's very controversial.
Well, basically we're talking about eating of human flesh.
Exactly.
Which is something which humans shouldn't do, but maybe if you're something else and not a human, you would do.
Yes. Well, that's not our list, so...
and I'm not publishing the list.
We're neither supporting nor denying it. It's because we just don't know at this point.
Okay. Well, we've got to go up to a place north of here. Just about everything in England is north of here. We're only about 10 miles from Land's End.